You know, when you hear the term super intelligent AI, it's easy to picture something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Something way off in the future. But what if I told you that in one of the most complex, specialized fields of medicine, cancer treatment, it's not the future. It's already here. Today, we're diving into how AI is doing way more than just helping out. It's fundamentally rewriting the rules for radiation oncology.
So, let's just start with a really big question. What if an AI planned your cancer treatment? For most of us, that feels pretty hypothetical, maybe even a little unnerving. But in the world of radiation oncology, this isn't a what if anymore. It's a what's next. And in a surprising number of places, it's actually a what's happening right now.
So, just how big is this AI takeover? Well, let's start by looking at the actual core tasks of a physician that AI is already doing. And honestly, the scope of it is pretty staggering. I mean, we're talking about systems that can plan incredibly complex radiation treatments from scratch. They can draft clinical notes. They can triage patient symptoms to see who needs help first. They can even simulate empathy in patient communications. But the real kicker is that last one. In some of these really critical jobs, the AI is already outperforming its human teachers. And this right here really shows you the scale of this shift. Yesterday, the physician did all these core tasks. Today, the AI is the co-pilot, or in some cases, it's basically flying the plane. A doctor's physical presence? It's becoming optional for some parts of the job. And the whole pace of the work, which used to be set by humans, is now being squeezed and accelerated by automation.
Okay, so this brings us to the central problem, the real conflict here. You've got this amazing, ridiculously fast technology smashing into a system, our healthcare system, our training, our legal frameworks, that just wasn't built for this kind of speed. And that creates a really dangerous gap.
First off, those workflows are compressing at an insane rate. AI is making everything faster, which puts this huge pressure on all the human parts of the system just to keep up. It really is like trying to keep pace with a bullet train on foot. And at the same time, the way we're training our new doctors is quickly becoming obsolete. Think about it. We are spending years and a fortune meticulously preparing them for jobs that intelligent machines will soon be doing almost entirely. We're training them for a world that's already vanishing in the rearview mirror. And this is the most critical and frankly dangerous disconnect of all. Even when an algorithm is the one designing the treatment plan, all of the legal liability, all the ethical responsibility still lands squarely on the human physician's shoulders. So the AI does the math, but the human carries all the risk. That's the paradox we absolutely have to solve. So when you're facing a crisis like this, it is so easy to get stuck in just being afraid of being replaced. But the conversation is starting to shift. It's moving away from just sounding the alarm bells and toward asking a much smarter, much more powerful question. What can we still lead? This one question just completely reframes the entire debate. It stops being about what we might lose to technology, and it becomes about what we, as humans, must choose to lead in this new world. It turns it from a tragedy into a challenge. And the answer to that question isn't just some philosophical idea. It leads to a very concrete, even radical, redesign of the medical profession itself. And it all starts with how we train the next generation of oncologists for a world that's full of AI. So what does that actually look like? Well, a new two-step training path has been put on the table. It kicks off with a totally reimagined residency program, and then it's followed by an optional fellowship for people who want to specialize even further. This first step, the Integrated Oncology Residency, is the real game changer. This is not about teaching doctors a little bit of coding on the side. No, it's about combining radiation, chemotherapy, advanced imaging, and, this is the key, AI oversight into one single program. The goal is to create a new kind of doctor, a systems-level expert who can manage the entire, complex treatment ecosystem where AI is a core player. And let's be really clear about this. This isn't just a software update for doctors. It's about forging an entirely new clinical identity, one that's actually designed for the future we are entering, not the one we're leaving behind. But look, even the best training redesign isn't enough on its own. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this whole puzzle, defining those essential, non-negotiable roles that absolutely have to stay human. These are the red lines. These are the areas where we have to bake human oversight into the rules. We have to say, by law, that a human physician is required for getting patient consent, for signing off on that final treatment plan, for overseeing high-risk therapies, and for holding the ultimate clinical accountability. And maybe most critically, we have to ensure that the crucial elements of ethics, equity, and simple human empathy are never, ever outsourced to a machine.
And you can feel the urgency here, right? The medical community has to be the one to lead this conversation about how these incredibly powerful AI tools get validated, governed, and integrated into patient care. Because if they don't, you know who will? Tech companies and policymakers who don't have that crucial on-the-ground clinical perspective. And those decisions will be made without them.
And this quote just says it all. It's the perfect summary of the bottom line. An algorithm can calculate, it can predict, it can even plan. But an AI cannot hold responsibility. That fundamental, moral, and legal weight, that still belongs to us. It has to.
So we end by just zooming out, because this story, it's not really just about radiation oncology. It's a preview for pretty much every skilled profession out there. It forces every single one of us to ask, in a world full of smarter and smarter machines, what is the essential human work that we must choose to lead?